No, definitely not. So what I'm going to do is now I have a testimonial with Claudia, who is going to share her experience and strengths that she's gained in the last while, not just physically, but I think emotionally, mentally, everything from her journey through health. And what she's going to share is also how she went from going to do a half a marathon, was it, to a full marathon, and now has another more fitness goal set up to achieve in the endurance based sports. And so, Claudia, I just wanted you to tell us a little bit about what you've achieved this year in your fitness journey and in the last year.
Oh yeah. Beginning of last year, I was still in bed. I was bedbound after some operations. I lost my retinas in both eyes, so had to stay in bed for 2 months. Before that, I was really fit, but after that, I never started running again. I never started any sport really again. I tried, but just didn't have the strength, or I don't know what it was. I just couldn't start. And I just wanted to get fit again. And then we started talking, and I think it was September last year, end of September, something. And I remember our first conversation. I said, my biggest goal was just to run a 10K again. And I really struggled with that. And the first weeks, I thought I shouldn't have set that goal. I just wanted to reduce it to a 5K, basically, because I just couldn't get out of bed. And before, I was just staying in bed and eating basically all day. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't run, I couldn't go swimming or anything. So yeah, it was bad to start with.
So, in terms of why do you feel that you couldn't run to the 5K? I know that you wanted 10K. Do you think it was your belief system? Do you think it was past experiences? What do you feel that was keeping you stuck there?
I think it's just you feel lazy at one point. Like when you are fit, it's easy to get up and run a 5K. You just do it in the morning. But if you're not, then it hurts more, and you kind of, you're not lazy, but your body tells you not to do it, and then your mind tells you as well not to do it, and you just give up basically. And it's difficult to get help. Like I went to my doctor and he said, oh, just lose some weight and go for a run. And I thought, yeah, it's not that easy. It's yeah, I think because there are so many factors coming together that you just can't do the sport that fit people tell you to do. I've never been in a situation where I couldn't just get up and do sports, and that was really hard for me to start again. I think once you've got the routine and everything, and you get up early in the morning and you do your sport, it's far easier.
Absolutely. The thing is, I just wanted to share that when you come from bedbound, there's a rehabilitation process. Like the body can't just go straight into running 10K again. It has to start really small, which what we done together. And what we done was we need to get obviously proteins back into the body, which are very important for muscle retention and muscle building, which also helps then with the creation and building of carbohydrate metabolism, supporting the immune system, keeping us fuller, preventing us from overeating, them kind of things, getting carbohydrates back into the body, getting antioxidants back into the body, and getting us in a good energy state, and starting to rehab properly with sequential steps involved is what we done. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, very fair. But I think you don't see it when you have to start. You can't do it on your own. Like I thought I just watched some videos online and do it on my own for quite a while, and it just doesn't work like that. Yeah.
No, for sure. It's very important to build a solid foundation in any individual. like as I wanted to speak so people could hear, like getting our joints back functioning correctly, getting our muscle tissue back on again, regaining flexibility and mobility, regaining core strength, regaining fitness, being able to supply oxygen at a good rate to the body, and also preventing inflammation. Because like when we come back from injury, we're highly inflammatory as it is, and we need to actually fix these processes first, and also get good function of a good gut microbiota too, which we done a lot of gut work inside of your marathon. What do you find? I know that you achieved that you want to do a 10K and then that you done a marathon. What do you find was the biggest achievement that you've achieved this year and during the coaching?
It was definitely the marathon because it was like I didn't plan it. I was still working on the 10K. Then I was happy just to do the half marathon. And one day my neighbors who don't run came up and said, "Oh, you really like running?" And I pretended not to die just after my 10K. And she said, "You're a good runner. We've got a free space available for the London event." And I thought that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And if I don't do it, I will watch it every single year on TV, thinking I haven't done it because I didn't feel ready. So, and without you, I honestly wouldn't have even tried to do it because it's kind of a really long run. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I've ever done, really, sport wise. Yes.
Thanks for sharing. Why do you feel that I was help for you to be able to go from bed bound 10K marathon, and now you have this other big event coming up that we're strength training for now to get you strong and ready for it? Why do you feel that I made a difference?
It was a big difference for mentally, and obviously it's like the nutrition and things I had no idea about. I didn't even know how to prepare for it. And obviously there are things you can download from the internet, but they don't really apply to you. And I think it was you were at one point the only one believing in me because everyone said, "Oh, you've just been for so long in bed and you will ruin your knees. You will, if you even try it, you will end up in a wheelchair." And you take on all these comments and you think, they're all stopping me from doing it. Should I really try it, or do I just ruin my body for the rest of my life? And it was coming all together because then we could like talk every week, and you were always the one saying, "Yeah, yeah, we can do it," even before I told you all my problems and all those little hurdles that were in the way. So yeah, it's everything together, really.
And thanks a lot for sharing that. And I'm really happy that I was able to help. But what I wanted to just share, even with you in general, is the reason why we get knee pain and the reason why we get all these injuries throughout running. Number one, we added strength training, which you are probably not used to doing for a runner. The benefits of like weight training, which we done 2 times a week, core training, flexibility training. We also then like were improving our servings of protein, which we educated each other on, and how protein plays a role in not just immune system support, but also in recovery and repairing muscle tissues. Because like these are reasons why we may get damaged knees. The other reason is relative energy deficiency syndrome, which I educated you on, is when what happens is physical activity usually increases in these marathon events and these other endurance-based events. And what happens is the body starts to gain fatigue, and it can't meet the demands of physical activity with energy. So therefore, the reason I was confident and competent was because I was very, very educated on this, and I was able to actually be sure that we were recovering. And we did do a lot of education on carbohydrate metabolism, how carbohydrates work and oxidation rates of carbohydrates, how hydration works, how fats work, how circadian rhythms in nutrition and sleep makes a massive difference in the overall 24-hour clock. What do you find was some of your biggest learnings of nutrition? Because did you, and also share if you can behaviors that you had before this with nutrition? That would be really kind. So first you're
Oh,
learning.
nutrition. Before I was binge eating, basically, absolutely not looking at what I'm eating and when I'm eating. And what I've learned was that you have to train your stomach basically. Like at events, I would just use these gels and think, why do I want to throw up now? Kind of thing. I didn't know you have to train that beforehand. And I didn't know that it makes a difference if you eat before you run or if you don't. Or, yeah, I didn't know all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
that it has to.
absolutely. What happens is a lot will think that it's just calories in versus calories out and hit your calories, but the gut microbiota is can be highly trained, and it's very very individualized and specific to an individual. So like, oh, that's why I had to coach you and train you to see what carbohydrates you can use, what you can absorb, what works for you, because we don't want to get, sorry for the language of speaking this, we don't want to get diarrhea, we didn't want to get flatulence, we didn't want to get nausea, we didn't want to get vomiting inside of things. And this is what can kind of happen if we don't find out what's specific to you and what works really really well for you. So thanks a lot for sharing that. Like, where were you before with nutrition before you start to do this coaching?
I really didn't care about nutrition at all. It was just like some fancy things people did. Like, I don't know, somebody shouts fat is good, somebody shouts protein is good, somebody else. Like, I'm still old fashioned. Like, my old coach always told me protein is really bad for you. Apparently, it damages your tendons or something. So I was a bit worried to follow all these new trends and just jump on them. So I didn't care. I would just eat what I liked. And now it's more structured when I eat what and how much. And yeah, it's completely different now.
Well, you didn't get what's normal in an endurance event, and that's an eating disorder, or what comes with most of these low calorie fat diets from taking food groups out of your nutrition, because you were able to eat different cultural foods throughout this at times. You were able to go through Christmas, you were able to go through a load of different events at work and stuff like that, because you were never on a rigid kind of way of eating. We never stuck you in like a way of like, we never cut out any foods. Like, would that be fair to say? Like, there wasn't any food cut out, was there?
No, and you never said eat less of that or anything, or and all I'm getting all the time is eat more carbs, eat more fat, eat more this and that, and yeah, it's just additionally, yeah, it's
Yeah.
completely different.
I just wanted to share again, just so the audience can probably get educated and you can too. Like, you understand, when somebody is getting fitter and better at running and better in the gym, what we don't really see inside of things is that like we are able to use more calories. Our tissues become better at partitioning calories into the right, and oxidizing carbohydrates and oxidizing fats a little bit more, because we're getting fitter. Because remember, I also had you running at higher running speeds in shorter durations of time to improve not just your VO2 max, but also improve your running speeds and teach your body how to use energy at much faster running speeds, which is very important as well for conditioning. Because if we keep doing the same stuff all the time in the gym, we're not really doing anything. We're adapted, and it's kind of gets a little bit easy. So that's why we did do that with the addition of calories. What goals are for you next, Claudia, in
Um,
2023?
2023. I've got two more goals. I've got the London Triathlon coming up. So that'll be a big challenge. I've never done a proper triathlon before. And after that, 100 kilometer ultra.
That's amazing. And where do you find what, like, out of everything that you've done, like I always ask somebody like what has been the, not just the biggest achievement, what was the biggest learning outside of this whole coaching process, and what advice could you give to other people?
Um, It's definitely worth. Well, um, coaching is this. At first, I was like really reluctant with coaching because there are many and they just want to sell some shakes or something, and that'll never work for me. But it's first of all you need to trust the person. I think because you've got so many qualifications that was easy, the trust. So I thought yeah, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, you just need to trust. Like the first few weeks when you told me go for a run in the morning, I thought yeah, that doesn't work because it hasn't worked before, and but it worked because we changed what I was eating and I didn't feel so tired, so it was easier to go running. So yeah, just trust the process, trust the experience.
Yeah, so thanks a lot for sharing that. For aerobic metabolism, running in, like, you have to know kind of what you're doing and the reason why you're doing it. But like for improving the function of your mitochondria, if anybody knows what the mitochondria is, like running in a fasted state with protein can be very, very beneficial for improving aerobic adaptations to training. So thanks a lot for sharing that, and I really appreciate that you chose me out of trust. Outside of the qualifications, what was the other reason why you chose me? Because you said that you've spoken to people with like um different diets and different protein shakes and all this, like people trying to sell you all that stuff. What was the difference in me comparing to that?
Um, there was a big difference in the. It was more for me individually. It wasn't like you didn't want to sell like a program where everyone has to join one group and everyone does the same exercise in the morning at 8 and um, because I need to be very flexible with my job. I can't say at what time I will exercise. I can't say I travel a lot with work, so it's kind of I needed a bit individualized programming, so different. Um, and most coaches they have their program. They say in 12 weeks I can make you run 5 kilometers, but you have to do what everyone else is doing, and then you miss a session, and then you think, how do I catch up now? Do I go for a run twice the next day? And there was no communication in between. Like with you, we text like on a daily basis, so you know what I'm up to and where I'm struggling, and I get an answer straight away when I say this is hurting, that is hurting, what should I do. Yeah.
No, thanks for sharing that. After like 15 years of working in the industry, and I've worked with a lot of different coaches, which I'm very grateful for myself, and I've had some amazing mentors that have helped me along the way. And one of the things that I kind of learned is that, like, rather than selling cookie cutter stuff, I just rather give up my career. And I think it's very important to personalize specific to an individual. And I felt that when working with other people, that like I always wanted that intimacy, which is support, guidance, and someone that actually that I can trust and that actually holds my hand throughout the process. Not that I need my hand held, but like it's very, very important to have that. And with artificial intelligence and everything else coming up now, we might still miss that. But like I don't want to follow that. Like, and I give all of the clients I have and the people I work with the convenience to reach out to me at any time. And I do personalized nutrition and personalized exercise specific to them, because I think that's the most important thing. But if you could give one bit of life advice to anybody out there, Claudia, because you did come from like bed bound, to, like, you are a hero inside of yourself, to be fair. Like the achievements is unbelievable to be able to come from bed bound, hospitalized, to set your goal for a 10K and then eventually run a marathon. What advice would you give to people?
Just keep going and find really you need somebody who believes in you because it really drags you down when people are negative. They don't they just want to protect you in a way, but you need that at least one person in your corner who believes in you. And yeah, it's good. And find somebody who knows what they are doing, because at first I was following those Instagram runners, but you press too hard and then you get injured. So it's better to know somebody. Yes,
Thanks a
find
lot,
them.
Claudia. That's really great advice. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop it now. And for anybody that this can help, I just wanted to share, or anybody that needs support with their nutrition, exercise, mindset, and creating a vision plan for themselves. You might have lots of kids, you might have a busy job, you might be coming out of hospital yourself. I'm also a rehabilitation coach. I've been a rehabilitation coach at Real Madrid. I've been a rehabilitation coach in Dublin, Australia, Canada, and I also do strength training, resistance training, and nutrition. And I'm also have a master's in psychology too. So I just wanted to share that so people understand that it's very, very individualized and specific to you. And let me know if I can help anybody. And thanks a lot for watching the video.